And as such, the ban's shift. Kennen taken away from Ala straight off the bat. Ash gone, but Lilia's still open. Misfortune, still the first pick, so Crocop has his chance to go for his favourite jungler.
He's up, Yone's up for Shanks as well. If they want to just slam it, they can. They know their AD slot is going to be taken up with DMF already being first picked by Top Esports, but of course hold on to it. Tristana's also still up, and you don't really want to give that over to Cream neither. So something like the Lilia Trist also very valid option. I think it's a good denial away from Top Esports and sets yourself up for a very solid team composition, regardless of what direction you decide to go on through.
Curious to see what happens in the mid lane throughout this series, because obviously Tristana did receive some nerfs. Corki has been banned by Top Esports, which makes me think they're okay with the Tristana coming through from Shanks. And I wonder what their answer is, because things like Zeri still on the table too.
Yep.
And AL very much thinking about it, but they do go for the Tristana in the end. There it is, immediately the Zeri.
Immediately, yeah, it's just straight away. And Renekton alongside that as well, so no jungler locked in right now, but the solo lanes and the AD there for Top Esports. Now it's up to AL where they want to go. Do they want to lock in an ADC for Hope? Do they feel like his pool's deep enough? I mean, I feel like it is. There's not been a major focus so far on the bottom lane. There's even with 2 more bans, I feel like he could still land on a Jhin, a Ziggs if he has to, right? It's not the end of the world. So, but Arla's going to go towards that Sunset, wouldn't be too bad. But there you go, we do end up getting that Jhin. So, more setup, right, from this AL roster now. Need a bit of frontline, a little bit more CC, and I feel like they're probably going to be very happy with a rounded composition.
I quite like, this is a controversial statement, but I quite like the Jhin lock-in. I know a lot of analysts around the world absolutely hate Jhin, but at least you know it's a Renekton in the top side, right? You know you're not against anything that's going to be absolutely stacking that armor. But Zyra banned away. K'Sante taken off the board away from Ala as well.
I feel like the point that people don't like about the Jhin right now is the Shiv rapid fire build. Because
the mosquito build.
Yeah, the mosquito build, if I may, because almost in every applicable time that we've seen it, it doesn't show up. And then Jhin players are picking it into like 3 frontliners, and it's like, should I have that build? Probably not. But hey, you know, builds always fluctuate in terms of what's flavoring up. Ivern has been banned away now from TN, and that makes a lot of sense. Double AD, Renekton top lane and engage support. Additional Arla champion inside of that Jace gone. So what are AL going to do? I feel like top lane options still plenty for Arla, but they're actually going to give him R5, despite the fact that he can see the Renekton. So they want him to see the entire composition and pick accordingly. And they want that Alistar more than giving it over to Mako.
I think this is AL saying, we don't want you to have an Alistar to dive our Jhin in the bottom lane right now, because there's already a Misfortune for Top Esports. Brand's still available for Tien, should he want to go in that direction. But Maokai, potentially an option. Another tree since the Ivern's gone.
Yeah, another tree. It's also a point-and-click CC for Croco on this Lilia. One of the things that can be very, very annoying to do against Lilia is lock her down, and Maokai, of course, having Twisted Advance, can get that done very, very easily. Poppy got up. Poppy would be cool. And we're going to get it. Okay. And that, I guess, you know, you could technically put Maokai support if you're thinking old patches earlier on in the year, put Poppy jungle. So I suppose there's a bit of flexibility there, depending on what they're feeling, Top Esports.
I don't know how much you want Poppy jungle against Lilia, though, really. It's not like...
I mean, it's still...
Can you?
It's, yeah, you can, actually. You can W a W, but not only that, like, the setup on the side lanes would also be really, really strong, right? Renekton plus Poppy, you can't survive that much burst damage. And Arla's going to go towards the Orb, so it's not a, you know, a big, you know, lane bully here for Arla. Those have been banned away. This is a setup top laner for the mid-game fights onwards, and a laner that's going to be playing Nullification into this Renekton.
I mean, front to back for days for AL. Let's be honest. 2 giga front lines and multiple AD carries in a Lilia. Very happy to go for a full-on 5v5. The question is, can Top Esports match it? And honestly, can you get to that mid-game? Because, you know, Mako going for attempted denial with that Poppy, but lots of dive potential with a Maokai and a Poppy in that bottom lane alongside a Misfortune. The Zeri counter pick in the mid lane as well. We'll see what Top Esports can bring in their first playoffs matchup. It feels like aggression from them.
It does. It feels like a lot of aggression. Strong lanes across the board for Top Esports. Renekton on the top side, that Misfortune lane as well. And Zeri's going to do a very fine job at just keeping Tristana at bay in the mid lane. So champion's champion, they've got it all sorted. It's just about whether or not they can get that early game lead and then continue to roll it like we've mentioned many a times now so far to date. Top Esports and Apex Legends, both these teams excel at closing out games when they have these leads in the early stages.
They really do. Both of them exceptionally good. I mean, their win rates with leads at 15 are first and third in the league, both over 90%. And their average game times are second and third in the league. Like, they finish games fast. These are two teams that you don't want to give a lead over to. We'll see how the early laning phase goes as we head into game number 1 between Top Esports and Anyone's Legend.
I think
it's absolute chaos in there.
Yeah, it's chaos.
I'm pretty sure Top Esports got 4 JOs there.
I also think they did too. I mean, in all fairness, I think it's pretty representative of how most people probably feel about the series. But
I mean, yeah, the fans are out in force for Top Esports.
Yeah, they are.
There's no two ways about it. For AL, slightly less fan support. But I kind of like the draft they've gone for. It's a bit different. It's certainly not number 1 meta picks in every single role. I mean, on top, we don't see that often. Even Alistair is a little bit of a rarity at the moment. But up against that Poppy, you know, it's a fairly interesting draft from the side of Top Esports. Partly just because TN has loved the carry. I was kind of expecting a Brand angle. I like that he goes for being that hard engaged for the team, though.
Yeah, so do I. I think it does, to a point, kind of pigeonhole Top Esports into a slightly heavier AD damage profile, right? And maybe for the frontliners of AL and maybe some defensive purchases for the carriers of AL, that makes their life a little bit easier. But, you know, it's still about the overbearingness of what a Maokai can provide sometimes, right? They just grasp the ultimate from downtown and how that can really close out your options can be very, very suffocating. So we'll see exactly what TL can get done as a... Yeah, that's a really nice trade.
I mean, JackeyLove just walked at Hope. He's like, you're going to have to go for this CS. I'm Misfortune. What are you going to do about it? And in goes Mako on the level 2. The auto Q before the flash. We said they were good, and they prove it in the first 2 minutes.
Level 2, immediate aggression. Hope and Kyle just not expecting it. Mako's stun doesn't quite connect, but it doesn't matter. They've just got the damage to outright kill Hope in this 2v2 and an immediate advantage gained here by Top Esports, and its first blood going over to that Misfortune. This is not the start that you'd want if you're an AL fan right now.
Certainly not. Croco on the edge of a ward was pinged there, so vision enough for Top Esports to scout him out and keeping an eye. Oh my god, look at the fan vote. 88% favorite Top Esports. My god. I mean, to be honest, they're not wrong. In terms of just outright expectations, Top are a heavy favorite. Let's take another look at this TV team. They just go for it.
Yeah, I mean, it's just this first trade, right, that builds up to it, and Hope can't really match it. It's just the nature of Jhin, you know, level 1. It's not always going to be the best. This stun doesn't quite connect, but the Q Ignite auto, plus the auto Q here from Misfortune on JackeyLove. It's just too much damage. Hope unable to escape that one.
I mean, I'm not sure Hope was quite expecting that level of aggression, but perhaps he should have been. This is JackeyLove and Mako after all. TN now moves down towards this bottom lane, and the wave is pushing away from Hope and Kyle. This is going to be so difficult for them to deal with. Croco's moving down as Mako just starts the fight again. Hope loses half his health, but Mako is rooted, and perhaps a chance here for AL to answer. Mako goes down. AL answer the aggression from top.
Yeah, Mako just too quick, right? He thinks he has the angle on the wall, and he just doesn't find it, plain and simple. Gets punished, loses his flash as well in that exchange. So AL, big win, and the gold goes on to Croco, which is definitely, for me, I feel like if there's a champion in this game that can really kind of throw a spanner in the works and make sure that Top Esports get off to a bit of a weird start once these skirmishes start going, it's going to be that Lilia.
Yeah. I mean, the fact that TN is not on a carry, right? The fact that Croco gets that lead is another advantage for the side of AL. And I'm so glad that they answer some of the aggression down in that bottom side. The fact JackeyLove got first blood, already has a cull stacking on the Misfortune. You really couldn't afford to just ignore the chasm that was starting to appear in the bottom lane. Croco does exactly that. So nicely played. AL keep things even. And again, that's exactly what they need to do. Keep things even in this early game.
Exactly. Go blow for blow where you can. Curious about what these early objectives are going to look like as the dragon spawns up. Shanks probably looking for an exit trade pretty soon, running low on mana. Because priority on the bottom side, priority on the top side of Top Esports. It's only really the mid lane where I feel like AL can maybe force a window of priority to, you know, dip into either of these objectives. So I do wonder what that's going to be and what the priority in general will be for Top Esports with such a strong setup. If they can get the early stacking on those objectives, it really will put AL on a bit of a timer once we hit that sort of like 20-minute mark.
And that's something Top Esports have been so good at this split. They are one of those teams that, you know, there's always that conversation of trading Grubs for Drake, right? And which one do you prioritize? Top Esports are one of the teams that don't really believe in trading. They sort of try and go for both. And sometimes it's punished. Most of the time, I'd say they pretty much get away with it. It's a skill not many teams possess, but they're certainly good at it. See if that's going to happen again today, because AL have also been pretty good at contesting those objectives. We saw that against FPX. They really were in control of those early games a lot of the time, especially the first two games of that series. And speaking of in control, Croco, kind of the ringleader, it feels like, of the team, moving down towards this bottom side. But Ala looking for the horn combo, triple brittle. Comes on through, 369 just clears the wave and keeps on trading. He does not care for your call on the Forge. Got it now down to the bottom side as Jackulov is caught out, but Croco, low on HP himself. The sleep will save the day, and Hope takes the kill.
Croco and AL find some trades on the bottom side, whilst Tien up here, he's doing the grubs, and they have a good idea that this is going on. I'd say that's alright for AL as long as they can get the dragon afterwards, but Croco's so chunked out that they're not going to be able to trade that objective either, so it's just that play on the bottom side for that. Tien, he has flash.
Yeah, I wasn't sure.
The trigger.
Wasn't sure if he was going to flash for that one, but you know, Shanks has W and flash. How far are you willing to travel? Because they didn't actually know for sure that Croco had gone for that reset. They suspected probably, but you never can tell. Croco now going to come back out from base. He's got some Merc Treads and a Fated Ashes, but Tien is already on the objective. We said they like both. They're getting both again.
Yeah, look at this. So this is actually Croco's very early pathing paying off. We didn't really talk about it, but he started Wolves, and that cycle eventually allows him to get this one invade to hit level 6 whilst this skirmish happens. And it just turns into such a one-sided affair. Croco just barely... Jackulov was in the auto attack animation as he dies to kill so Croco. Close. Just about misses out on that kill. That's a good play for AL.
And again, we keep on seeing Top Esports make a positive play somewhere. It's answered by AL. This is what we wanted to see. This is what is required from AL if they want a chance in this series. But now Top Esports, they go again. Roots in the bottom lane. Hope tanks it and cleanses, pushed into the bullet time, but he flashes to safety. Mako might be too deep on this one, but Kriv is covered as well, and Kael has found himself alone. He's not the one that wants to be farming underneath the tower. He's only level 5 on the cow, and Top Esports are having beef tonight.
Yes, they are. There's not really a trade for AL anywhere on the map. Maybe Croco can sneak across, get some camps, but that's about it. And in comparison to the waves missed, the plates gained, and the kill, it's just a wholeheartedly Top Esports favored trade. Shanks will take a plate here at the very least to try and make some of that gold come back in their favor.
And I really like the way that Top Esports focused on the top side first to get the grubs, then came bot side, do the Drake, do the dive then when there's really nothing for Croco to trade elsewhere. Croco was not part of the play, couldn't influence anything there, and couldn't really trade on the top side because the objectives are down. Now trying to steal away some chickens. Might just be able to do so with the dot there, but no. Tien gets the smite. Jackulov, though, has stuck around perhaps a little too long. Stunned up. Hope should be able to finish the job. Flash comes out from Jackulov, but the fourth shot is just too much. Surprised to see the flash, to be honest.
Yeah, so am I. If he had barrier, I'd get it. Jackulov just thinking he'd squeak out. Unfortunately, loses his flash. Kill goes over to Kael. Last ignite tick is what gets it. Kind of unfortunate for Hope to not get some of that gold back. So there's still a 500 gold lead for Jackulov, but still, kills traded back. Gonna feel good for AL to just try and maintain that even, or as even as possible, early game state.
So let's take another look. Recalling an award, an old classic.
What a classic.
I'm guessing Hope hits the W.
Yep. Very easy setup. Not really much to talk about in the play.
Life is pain.
Life is pain. Then,
That's just a shame for Hope, isn't it? Yeah, it's literally 10 HP away.
Very, very sad. That is life. Hope is shadowing Arla right now. They've gone for a lane swap. Maybe they want to, of course, trade these grubs in 30 seconds time. So swapping out that 2v2 in the bottom side gives them a bit of prio here. Arla could technically TP to the bottom side to catch that wave, and that's exactly what he's going to do. There's no TP on 369 as JackeyLove bases. So JackeyLove and Top Esports could overload 5 members here into the top side, and they'll have a numbers advantage. Arla would have to crash this next wave and then move up, so there'll be a small window where Top Esports have more members. Could force the issue immediately, but AL, they're getting their setup through the top side. That's where they're going to enter the river. Top Esports, they're getting it through the mid lane.
So 369 recalled there, and he was headed towards the bot lane, but actually headed mid instead. He might look to try and match Ala there, who is on the roam up as well. We could have a bit of a 5v5 on our hands, in all honesty, as AL grouped up to try and contest, but might be a little bit late here. At least one grub is going to go the way of Top Esports. And AL now just trying to stop 5 and 6 grubs, trying to potentially find an advantageous fight. Ala here to be that hard engage as Croco gets 1 grub. That might be all they get here. Roots tanked by Kael, and now Ala looks to engage himself. Look at the combo coming through, but the bullets go wide, and JackeyLove walks away. Kael, low on HP, he's overcommitted, and will end up falling.
Not enough follow-up, and like you mentioned, that first bullet from Hope missing means that even though JackeyLove is CC'd up, they just don't have any damage to finish up those kills, or that kill specifically on the backline. So Top Esports kind of get a bit of a freebie here. They get 5 grubs, they get a favorable lane assignment on the back end of this as well, because now JackeyLove can get at the very least 1 play, and he's just going to continue to extend this lead. It's grown out now to over 1,000 gold.
I do wonder, like, I feel like that was AL not just like losing a fight, but essentially saying, hey, we're gonna lose this fight, back away. Just sacrifice Kael, give him the grubs. We got 1, at least we denied 6. Like, because like, there could have been way more commitment right here. Like, there easily could have been more.
No, I think it's hard, because not only do you have to deal with the Nature's Grasp, but 369 and TN have such a good angle if you ever move forward here. So you kind of run the risk of, you know, dealing with this threat of 369, but then also having, you know, dive in from Cream and Mako. I think it's a difficult call. Once Ala does bring in that Call of the Forge God, you just think maybe we can fish for 1 kill and then, you know, trade support for AD at best, but yeah, it's definitely a little bit awkward. They only get 1 grub for their troubles, lose the kill. As we come out of the replay, the setup has been favorable for them though, and they will get this dragon, and they will stop that early stack for Top Esports. So no major pressure unless we see a hilarious flash cube from TN right now over the wall, but I don't think that's going to happen.
Yeah, I would have been surprised to see him go for that one just for a Drake, but it will be AL at least evening Drake. So they've challenged Top Esports on neutrals early in the game. That's, you know, that's better than a lot of teams.
Look, Joe, I've seen teams throw bodies at plays for less in the LPL. Speaking of throwing a body at a play, Ala, the victim of a poppy dive that might take 2 rounds.
I mean, he's pretty tanky. He is pretty damn tanky, but Cream's pretty good at taking these towers down. Stun comes on through, and a couple of lightning bolts. The Forge God meets Zeus.
Very unlucky for Ala. There's not really much he can do. Poppy can always just harass him all the way back, and he just dies through his troubles. Cream will pick up that tower, still got a plate on it as well, and it'll be first tower of the game. So a lot of gold. Actually, 369 beats him to it.
His teammate outplays him. 369 takes the first tower of the game. To be honest, I think you're quite happy with the gold on either of them. But the fact that you're taking 2 towers simultaneously on opposite sides of the map, while the rest of your team is invading the jungle, like, it doesn't feel like, for the last few minutes, it's not felt like AL are that dramatically behind, but then you glance at the top of the scoreboard, it's a 4,000 gold lead off the back of those towers. Top Esports, they've found that early advantage that we've been talking about, and the question now is, can AL weather the storm? And the spoilers are, no, they can't. Nobody can.
Not right now. And I mean, oftentimes gold leads can be deceptive, but then you also look at the items as, take a second, Mako, he's been slept.
Mako just goes in, he just walks and they're like, what are you going to do about it? Tien gets his red buff. Was this worth it for Tien? Let's find out. For short, will find its mark. Hope gets one and a knock up on 369. As in comes the Croc, and maybe AL have overstayed. They found a kill. At least they, I guess, denied a red buff. I don't know.
Tien got it, I think, before he died. I'm not actually sure. We need a replay for confirmation.
Did,
but
I think he did.
It's a really
So wait, actually, Hope got the red buff, so it's all worth it.
So do you remember like 30 seconds ago when I said I've seen teams in the LPL throw their bodies at plays for less? Let this be another example on the long list. As it's just over the red buff. Screw everything else. Who got it? It was Tien. So then Tien gets the kill credit, or rather, Hope gets the kill credit on Tien. So that's how he gets the red buff. The bullet time stops AL from advancing a little bit further than perhaps they would have liked to initially. But I think that's a good thing, considering how the back end of that play played out.
And that's Cream about to finish his cult as well in that top side. So his gold lead, despite AL actually finding a positive play there, gold lead still very, very in favor of Top Esports. And these mid-game fights are what I've been so excited to see in this series. However, the carries start to get a little bit ahead of the side of Tez. And we'll see if AL can contend in some way. And this is where that sort of creative shot calling that we were talking about before can really start to come in. AL have got to find a way to get numbers advantage, to get a pick, and Croco is trying to do exactly that down in the bottom lane. 369 goes in for the trade. Oh my god, what is the damage out from 369? Dodges the knockup, and Croco is sent away, but unfortunately, the Croc is all out of clock.
Indeed he is. Herald's in the mid lane here. Kyle's trying to make a meal of it. That's the ultimate from Tien.
IL, low HP. Oh, the zap finds him. Cream with an Ultra Shock laser through the tower. And Top Esports start to snowball. That's a tier 2 in the mid lane. Croco comes in behind the play. Big damage on Jackula, but the W denied, and Croco goes down instead. Every time you try and make a play, Top Esports have the answer.
Just threw. AL tried it. Tried to answer it, but Top Esports, their rebuttal is just that bit stronger now. 369, he wants a bit of a rundown on Arla. I think he might just about have to... Well, he doesn't have enough Fury. Oh, there is no tier 1 here, so it could...
Yeah, Arla can't get out.
Yeah.
Alele yodels his last song as 369 tries to catch him. In the meantime, there's a big old scrap happening elsewhere, but Ala gets his combo off. And 369 now being surrounded. Alele turns it around and Shanks joins in the song.
Dominus 2 seconds.
369 will fall again. He just wants his 1v1, man.
Someone give this man a fair 1v1. Well, 369 he tried. He's punished. Kill goes over to Shanks, I believe that was where that kill credit went. And this will actually have objective ramifications because Dragon spawns up as 369 goes down. So, nice pickup here for AL. 369 just feeling himself a little bit too much, to say the least.
And honestly, it's pretty big, but like when you're looking at a composition that's got Lilia on Tristana, you've got set up with the Alistar and the Jhin as well. Like, scaling is something that's really, really nice for the side of AL. Oh no.
Yeah, I don't even...
I didn't even see that live. Sort of walked into it, didn't he?
That's unfortunate. But yeah.
I want to see a replay of the pick that happened.
Yeah, how did Kyle die? Did he just face check?
Ah, dear, Kyle. Yeah.
Well.
Okay, so he was hunting.
Yeah. Jackula was still on the chickens, but then he just gets heroic charge into the wall. A lot of burst damage there on offer.
Yeah. And while there may be a siege happening on the bottom tier 2, this is not a Baron siege because Baron isn't even on the map yet. It's only 19 minutes into the game. We told you these two teams like to play fast. It feels late game. It isn't just yet. But Top Esports are... Hold up. Tien's already finished 2 items because his items are so cheap on the Maokai. Croco looks on the scoreboard to be behind.
Yeah. It's one of those frustrating things about, you know, these tank junglers picking up some of these more supportive orientated items, as they are so cheap, right? I think Locket is 2.3k, Zeke's might just be a touch cheaper as well. Like, you know, your gold does go a long way in the jungle role.
Compared to Leandry's, which is like one of the most expensive items in the entire game. Like,
yeah,
it's not very fair.
Yeah,
well, I mean, it is fair. Like, I don't.
It is fair, but
I don't think Locket should cost a lot more than it does. Just to clarify there. But.
Yep. Or maybe we should. You know, I'm always anything to hurt the support player base. Full bro. You know, I'm there for it.
Is there a role that you like though? I feel like you say that about every role. I know you hate AD carries. Now you hate supports.
No. I mean, so it's just the bot lane as a whole. You know, support, top, mid. Hell, even jungle. Jungle gets more bad rap. You know, I don't know who jungle's lawyer is, but they need a raise. The solo lanes, they don't get anywhere near as bad the PR.
Yeah. Jungle
just as bad.
Fighting the didn't gank allegations. And he didn't gank, but god damn, it's hard to gank with 3 losing lanes. And I feel like Croco feeling the wrath of that this game. He's 700 gold up, but you know, JackeyLove 2,500, Cream 1,500. We talked about Cream and how good of a year he's had. And I think the thing that, oh, hang on, an attempt on the top side. 369 used to slice the dice, flashes away though. Kaya locks him up. The Call of Forge God is there. Plenty of damage to finish that Croc. Croco killing a Croc. It's Crocoside.
Crocoside, he just couldn't move. Good 369. Cost them Unbreakable Will and the Call of the Forge God. So a Baron attempt off that pick is a bit unlikely, just because the turnaround tools are mostly those ones. So they will just take their pick and leave. Dragon spawns in 30 seconds time. Top Esports have the better setup, so I think AL recognize this, and they're going to try and stick around, look for a pick. But that sapling reveals the entire ploy.
Yeah.
They'll, at the very least, try and go for the tower. No, they won't. So with these late resets, I expect that Top Esports, if they want to, can just rotate down towards that dragon, pick that up. And AL, I mean, they might get there as it's finished, and maybe we see a fight off the back of that.
Important to mention, Croco has his Masterwork upgrade on his Leandry's. That's a scary little deer right there. Would be sole point should AL grab this Drake for themselves. I don't know if they can really contest though. Top Esports on the scene much faster. And instead, AL gravitate towards the Baron. I think they're just going to clear vision here.
Yeah, they should be. There's a teleport top, so they're trying to cross that now. Lane assignments are a bit awkward. Shanks coming out, maybe there was a big bot wave to catch. I think there was. Now he's up here, and I mean, he will get this tower, so it's still a good TP at the end of the day. We'll just take a little bit of time. But is it enough time to not get caught out,
so.
even after getting the tower? Croco and Kyle are going to have to cover.
Not. I mean, JackeyLove's moving over. Too. Shanks immediately jumps. Buster shot available for him. Should Mako try and close the gap? But I mean, it's not just Mako coming, it's everyone. And JackeyLove finishes the kill. I mean, that's Shanks down with Baron up on the map. That is not one of the tier 1, because Baron's going to get started.
Yeah, and this should go down as well, unless Croco can make a bit of a miracle happen. This Baron's being burnt down fast. 8,000 health already.
Croco has flash, has smite. Can he find his moment?
That's what they want.
He's going to get into the pit.
He's got it.
Gets it. Croco turns golden for AL. They abandon him. They know he's going nowhere. Puts the ball to sleep. Top Esports have a little slumber on the fact that Baron was nicked.
It's a group fiesta for Top Esports. They lose the big purple worm, and that's a massive amount of gold. 300 each. And no Baron buff taken for Top Esports. We'll see what AL can do in terms of delaying the game. Keeping it going a little bit longer. Or no. And I'm not sure what else. It's just a bit of AoE. JackeyLove is just still hitting it.
Wait, Ala just missed his
Ala just missed his soul. Okay. Didn't see that in the live, but can never count out the LPL observers to let us know that somebody made a bit of an oopsie.
That one took me back to
Did
TSM at Worlds there for a second, seeing the full sleep duration.
Oh man.
My
Me
goodness.
too, Joe. Me too.
What a game though. What a game. AL have been keeping it fairly close, but Top Esports definitely the ones in control. I will say, I've been enjoying how determined and how, I guess, purposeful the play has been from AL. Like, these picks onto 369 in the side lane, I feel like they are waiting for 369 to make an aggressive move. Ala is standing just close enough to be like, ooh, you could get a good trade on me. And every single time they punish it. I think 369, maybe. I'll have a couple of words from his coach after this game, just saying, hey, look, they are hunting you. Don't go for it. Don't fall for the bait.
Whether or not 369 will have discipline to follow, which you'd imagine he would, but hey, maybe he's in a mood today, who knows. AL, they're on this mid lane wave and they're getting engaged on. Ult from downtown and Hope's gone.
Hope's so far forward, will survive with his flash, but his front line can't say the same. Croco now just arriving in the play for the Swill Seed. Goes right between the posts. Kael dies to his sapling. Chased down from the slope. And now Top Esports. They've only got one minion to work with, but I think that tower is as good as gone. That's going to be an inhib in the mid lane, and that's going to be Top Esports with undisputable map control.
Alright, I'm going to continue to be AL's attorney for today. On the bright side, this is the mid lane inhibitor.
I don't think on the bright side is a legal term. I don't have the
objection,
use that phrase.
Objection, Your Honor. I don't even know what the objection would be. But look, yeah, good play for Top Esports. Continue to find plays across the map, and this time it's just AL trying to find a bit of a foothold somewhere with this Baron buff. And it will get them this mid lane inhibitor, give them a bit of freedom to go to a side lane. They've got this dragon spawning in just over a minute's time. And I imagine that will be their next port of call, as, again, just looking for a bit of mid lane priority. They can't find it even with the Baron. The ult from Tien forces everyone into a retreat. Hope's in a very awkward spot initially, and then Ala, first one to go on the front line. And poor Kael, a sapling that chases him from oh so far away, may I add.
It's Cream's slow from his W that manages to get it.
Yeah.
Fantastic, fantastic. And I mean, at the end of the day, like, AL's just pushing a bit too far forward. The jungler not there. Top Esports. This composition is so good at punishing mispositions with the Maokai and the Poppy. Very happy to just run at you. But Drake coming up. Soul point for either team. And it feels like a crucial team fight here in game number 1 for AL, as Shanks gets pushed away by Mako. Doesn't really lead to anything.
For now, Croco gonna get spotted out by that sapling. AL are desperately trying to find some kind of angle here, but they don't really have a strong dedicated flanker, so they have to take it front to back. That's kind of just how the fights have to go for them.
Yeah, and look how spread Top Esports are. They're not allowing for any movement. They're not allowing any avenue to not be spotted. Roots come in. Ala going to use his charge to block it. Kael takes one as well. Mako's on the front line, but he survives. And the bullet time just hitting that front line. Call of the Forge God now comes through, along with the curtain call. There's not really any damage coming in, though, from the side of AL. They've thrown everything, and nothing came from it. Cream dives into the mix as Croco threatening on the bottom side. Both teams nervous to overcommit as 369 just about gets away with his life. Just out of auto range there. Top Esports, they fancy themselves a Drake.
Yeah, they should get it. Croco, he's dancing around the idea. I just don't think it's going to be enough. But you can see the potential. Oh, Croco!
Flash from Mako, he's proactive, but in goes Kael to save his jungler. Croco trying to get back into the fight again, but he's just going to get taken down. Just click it in circles at this point. This Top Esports, I think that might just be enough for them to break this base even further.
Yep, they could even look for the end if they can get Hope here.
It's reminiscent of level 1 as Hope gets flashed on and sent away again. Ala tanking for his team, but he's just not big enough to take on 5, not with 280 carries. Top Esports even throws some roots in, and it sends Shanks packing. That'll be a second inhib tower. No, it won't. Top Esports, okay, wait for the next wave. It will be the tower going down.
Tower, no inhib, but still damage done. Lasting damage to the base again of AL, and the gold lead continues to balloon out of control. It's been out of control for a while, but this reset will signal Baron being back up on the map for Top Esports, and the setup around that objective almost certain, as good flashy here from Mako locks in Croco. Kael tries to make the sacrifice in play, but then Croco turns around because he sees where 369 is, and he knows he's just gone. Not able to escape that one, and the chase down on Smoke almost netted them even more.
What can AL do about it is the question. Trying to get this tier 1 in the mid lane. But Mako just disallowed. Mako has been playing some serious League of Legends today. This Poppy pick has been fantastic. He just runs at them regularly. The Keeper's verdicts have been fantastic as well. I mean, the sheer confidence with which he is just running into every fight, and he's only died a single time.
Such a good game out of him so far today. You were questioning the Poppy pick overall and its overall ability to have impact. And I think it's safe to say Mako might actually just snack himself MVP for this game number 1, to be honest with you.
It's quite possible. He's had a good one in the mid lane as well. I mean, Tien's engages have been fantastic. There's a bullet time, it's on zone! And that is the end of all hope for AL in this first game. 369 happy to tank them all up as Croco tries to escape. 3-man sleep is nice, but it's not nice enough to survive the buckler. Mako finishes the job onto Croco. And I think that might just be game. JackeyLove slowed by the trap, and it means Shanks should be able to get away. The slow from the Make It Rain is not enough to stop the rocket jump. And Top Esports are pretty much bang on their average game time. 31 minutes as they just about broach the 32-minute mark. It will be game 1 going their way. It will be a gold lead the entire game. It will be lane differences. But a bit of a fight back from AL, not going down without at least battle.
The end result still looks like a thrashing from Top Esports to bring them 1-0 up in the series, and I think a lot of our expectations coming into it met in this opening game 1, and now it's about what the bounce back will be from Anyone's Legend. This opening draft, a lot about just surviving the early game.
Yeah.
Ornn, Jhin, you know, Lilia with not the best setup lanes or the most, you know, high priority lanes to really allow Croco to get a good individual lead. So now, again, a shift up is going to have to occur, because if they walk into a game 2 with a not proactive draft like they just did here in game number 1, I anticipate Top Esports are just going to do the exact same thing they did here.
I really thought Ala was going to get a carry. I really thought Ala was going to get something to try and answer that Renekton in the top lane. Ornn doesn't seem like it was the answer in the end. AL lose that first game, but Top Esports, I mean, first game of playoffs, they are looking pretty much exactly like Top Esports. No need for a warm-up for that fantastic first game. We're going to jump into a break, find out if they can keep the ball rolling.